Have any of you guys ever killed your own meat?
Yeah,
Yes.
I've gone hunting and stuff.
Never.
Cool.
Never caught a fish. Never been fishing. Never killed
Not even a
anything.
fish?
Been fishing.
Really?
No, never been fishing.
Wow. I'm
I
impressed.
don't like it. It makes me sad.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just it perplexes me that people are like, oh, this person's abusing their cat or something, when like that same person will go and eat a cow that's been like we can see that they've been pretty, maybe even worse, abused. Like I'm okay, and I used to be like, whatever animals are a subclass, I don't care about abusing them at all. Doesn't matter to me if they're in pain. So I'll eat them and I'll be okay with them being abused in their slaughterhouses and whatever. But then I was like, and then I mean, I don't know if it was partly like having a dog and like thinking about it a bit more, and I was like, well, I probably wouldn't want to abuse him. I was like, I just don't know if I can be consistent and say that I would do this to my dog, but it's okay for it to be happening like where I can't see it.
Well, from like an instinctual standpoint, humans, for a tribe or a society of tribes, and you really only care about what's in your circle. That's what we've been doing for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You only care about what directly affects you.
True.
That's the same concept they used to kind of excuse racism and sexism back in the day as well, though. And that's the whole concept is the third wave. So there was racism, now they're talking about speciesism, which is what you were talking about earlier, Woke. The belief that one species is more deserving of its place on the earth than another. It's the same way they used to speak about black people, was that they were animals and that they were second-class citizens. So, that's very militant view, and that view, but that's a belief.
I get what you mean, and someone's presented this argument to me before, and I disagree, mainly because of like the natural food chain that's out, like that exists in the wild. Like when you're talking about human versus human, that's like we are obviously we're the peak, all right? Like we have the most intelligence,
apex predator,
where we've got the most society and all of that kind of stuff. Like we've evolved and we've gone beyond every other species on this. And when you're talking about other humans interacting and killing or whatever other humans, for example, with racism and slavery and all that kind of stuff, I think that's very different to saying that here's a thing that we've eaten forever, like for a long time, saying that like, oh, actually, like it's racist, or like not racist, it's speciesist to consider them lesser beings. I don't think that's true. I think that you can definitely I don't know, I just disagree with that. I think that you can definitely rank things based on their society and stuff like that.
So again, to get your moral compass again, Woke, sorry. Hypothetically, aliens invade the Earth, they now become the apex predator. Are you okay with them being carnivore, or are you hoping that they're not going to eat humans? Like, if they now attain the premier position on the thing, are you fine being eaten?
As a human, obviously I would hope that they were not. But if they are and they manage to kill us, then
you're cool.
That's the way the world works.
Cool. That's cool.
Literally, that's literally the way the world works, And I don't know. That's the way the world works.
That's good. Then you're morally consistent. That's good.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong.
It would suck. It would suck, and I would fight back. But if they're that much better than us, then they deserve to be on the top.
The place where I see the inconsistency, using the animal argument as well, not the animal argument, the alien situation as well, is, so let's say you have these aliens and they can see, and they're eating people on Earth, and they're eating I don't know, let's say they're eating all the tall people or something, and then and they're all okay with that, and they're torturing them and they're eating them as we do, I guess, in a way, to animals. And then one of the aliens eats a smaller person, and all the other aliens are like, well, what the hell, man? Like, they're a bit cuter, and like, why are you eating like a smaller person? You're not allowed to do that. What's wrong with you? I feel like that's similar to what we do with certain types of animals. We're okay with
it is very similar.
Pain.
I think I think that is a little bit different, mainly because of like the quality of meat, how it tastes. Like there's no way you can compare eating like dog meat to eating like cow meat.
But that's societal, and taste is very subjective. Like some societies eat dogs and cats, and some
They
don't
do,
eat cows.
Asian countries.
Then you don't eat cows because they're like sacred.
Yeah, Indian countries.
Hinduism.
30% of Indians are vegetarian, and cows are actually considered sacred creatures.
Yeah.
There's quite a few like cultures and stuff that won't eat pig either, because pig's a dirty animal. So you know, like Jewish people as well, that for that religion they won't eat pig.
Yeah, you're right.
The animal.
Yeah, but once again, just to be morally consistent, I am okay with people
Abusing
eating
dogs.
Not abusing dogs.
But okay, so that's right. I'm
different.
also okay. I'm also okay with I'd say I'm also okay with eating dogs if they're not suffering. I'm also okay with eating cows if they're not suffering. I'm okay with anything if they're not suffering. However, because they are being really abused, that is inconsistent, I think.
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm all for a reduction in animal product consumption.
Yeah.
So like if we can reduce that, it kind of like sends a message to these farmers who are like treating animals inappropriately that like we're not okay with that. You know what I mean? And and it's kind of, and it's one of those things. It's like the industry developed because of demand. Yeah. So when you've got so many people on the planet wanting to eat meat, it's impossible. Like I read some study where it was like the amount of land that would have to be used to ethically farm like cow meat, as opposed to like how they're doing it now in like feedlots and all that kind of stuff, is ridiculous. Like it's unachievable on the planet. So so you can't necessarily have the argument, oh, okay, well, like we're just going to ethically farm all meat now. You have to couple it with a reduction in like the amount of meat that you're eating or the amount of animal products that you're using to make it like sustainable. But I'm like, I still, even though I think that we should reduce the amount we're eating, and I think that animals should be treated completely ethically, and there should be harsh penalties for people that don't, I'm still for eating meat.
But you'll keep consuming the ones that aren't treated ethically? Yes. It's like, okay,
checkmate.
You know what?
I know.
You are like 95% of meat eaters are exactly the same. I reckon there'd be 5% of meat eaters who would be okay with abusing animals like they are and eating them. And I feel like I was in that 5% before, and now because I'm like, wow, I'm actually not okay with not eating these ones. It's like I'm saying that you're in 95% of the population who are okay with being morally ambiguous on this topic.
I am okay with eating, I'm not okay with eating abused meat. I don't like the idea of it. However, until like my enjoyment of meat outweighs my like hatred of the fact that some of these animals get abused.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that turning point for you, Fresh, was when I got you to watch the Dominion documentary, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I watched that Dominion documentary again. I had watched it before, like a couple of years ago, and like I was saying, Frey, I was in that area of, I actually think mainly it was probably owning pets. I was in the area of like animals, like I don't care if they feel pain, like at all. And then I totally changed my views on that. But a lot of people asking what Fly's stance is. Is he a vegan? Some people are probably just looking at him and being like, that attractive man. And saying that he's probably a vegan.
I actually grew up as a vegan, so practically my entire life I was eating as a vegan.